Okay. So in your butterfly pose, where you've now landed yourself, soles of your feet together, knees out wide, you just start to bring some awareness to the sensation that you're feeling in your hips, the connection of the back of your body to your mat. And just start to become aware of the heaviness of your body. Notice the space that your body takes up. Maybe even the space around you. Today's practice is a vinyasa flow. And so vinyasa means just to move with breath. And so before we even get started with movement, really the most important part of this practice is the breath. It's just finding that steady rhythm, almost like beat of the music. And that's what's actually going to guide us this morning. So let's just start to breathe together, even though we're not all in one space, that there's still an aspect of community to this in which we can all be finding the same breath, the same energy. So empty out whatever air you're holding on to. And then take a big inhale breath through your nose, fill all the way up. Pause at the top, and then exhale out through your mouth, let that go. These first few breaths might feel a little contrived or forced, and that's okay. So inhale through your nose, feel your belly, your chest rise up. And then exhale, sigh out with your body. Full breath in, feel expansion. And exhale out, feel the release. Take 2 more really big, deep breaths, just on your own time. And then start to subtly allow your breath to just become natural. So stop thinking about your breath. Sometimes we just need to take those big, deep inhales and exhales to remind our body that it has more space to breathe. And then when we just come back to natural breath, we actually slow it down a little bit. So the autonomic nervous system actually starts to just bring us into more of a gentle state. And so if you're ever feeling that throughout your practice, breath is getting tight or constricted, take 3 big giant breaths for yourself. Really sigh out with the exhale. Exhale, super important to calm the breath. And then allow your breath just to steadily move back to a natural rhythm. Gently rise your knees up through center. And then bring your knees in towards your chest and give yourself a big hug. Might feel nice to rock side to side. Maybe massage at the back of your sacrum or hips. And then pause back through center. Keep your right knee extended in towards your chest, and then start to extend your left leg long. Back of your heel reaches towards the ground. Hands can interlace on top of your right shin or even behind the hamstring if that's more available. Guide your right knee more to the side of your rib cage. Feel it into the compression of your right hip, into some of that constriction, and then the opposite sensation in your left hip of lengthening, of openness and expansion. Notice how when you draw your right knee in closer to your body, there might be a deeper opening as well in the left hip. Drive your left heel away from your body, feeling like you're elongating through that leg. And then flesh out the right hip. Just start to gently rock your right knee left and right. It can be really small movement, or you can make it as big as you'd like. If you want to take mini circles with your right knee, that's also optional. Just make sure that you move in both directions. And the next time that you come back through center, pause, change your grip to the back of your right leg and start to extend your toes up towards the sky. Now you can have hands behind your hamstring or your calf or even your foot. And this is gonna seem a little bit different, so just play with it. It might not be exactly what I'm doing, but you're just gonna find some movement. If this feels like a lot on your left hip at any point, just slide your left heel up and plant your foot, so left knee will bend. Okay. And then wherever you've gripped onto your right leg, start to draw your right knee down beside your ribcage, almost into a happy baby pose. And then start to extend your leg overhead, straightening out the leg, getting into the hamstrings. Okay, bend into your knee, happy baby. Keep some pressure with your hands. That's gonna help you feel supported. And then kick the back of your leg into your hands to straighten it out. Just a little bit of active lengthening, getting into the adductors, so your inner thigh, and back of your legs, your hamstrings. Let's take one more round of breath and movement. And then we'll pause at the top with a straight leg. You're welcome to hold here, or if you want to get a little bit deeper, you can play with peeling your head, neck, and shoulders off of your mat, drawing your forehead up towards your knee or your shin. Hold for a full inhale breath. And then as you exhale, lower your upper body back down, bend into your right knee. Use your left hand to twist. Left hand guides your right knee across your body. Extend your right arm out long and just bring your gaze over towards your right thumb. Soften into the next 3 breaths of this twist. So let go of any effort. Allow yourself just to melt in, to find those long, deep, smooth breaths again. On your next inhale breath, unwind from your twist. Hug your right knee into your chest one final time, and then gently release your right foot onto the earth. Slide your left heel up, bring your left knee in towards your chest, and extend your right leg long. Okay, you're gonna feel really different sensation into that right hip. So just start to notice how the two sides of your body feel. Really allow yourself to be connected in this moment and be within the contours of your body. Majority of our day, we operate either out of our mind or either outside of our body, of what's happening around us, but we forget to check in what's happening within. Just allow yourself a space to settle and just get a little bit more familiar with what does your body need from you today. Now let's add in a little bit of movement to that left hip. So you can start to draw your left knee across over towards your right side and then back over to the left. Just a gentle rocking, or option to take little circles if that feels better. A big aspect of getting connected to your body is that you have this opportunity to just choose what is nourishing and choose what is joyful. So this practice and these poses might not necessarily be completely for you, so know that you have agency to make this practice what you need. You have agency to choose depth and choose variation. So don't forget all the power that lies in that. Come back through to center. Extend your left toes up towards the sky and switch your grip to the back of your left leg. Now it doesn't matter if you have hamstring or you're into your calf or more so the ankle. Okay. As you start to bend your knee towards the side of your rib cage, you'll keep some pressure on the hands. More importantly, start to straighten out your leg again. Feel like you're kicking the back of your left leg into your hands to straighten. And just do this a couple of times. So you're feeling some release as you bend the knee down, and then there's a big lengthening and effort as you extend. Inhale might feel nice on the extension and straightening of the leg, and exhale might feel nice on the bending and towards happy baby. Let's take one more round of breath and movement. You might be feeling a little bit of fatigue into that leg. And then the next time that you straighten out your left leg, pause. You're welcome to just hold here, or for the next couple of breaths, lift your forehead up towards your knee or shin, just honoring the depth that's appropriate for your body this morning. And then on your next exhale breath, you'll gently lower head, neck, and shoulders back down. Bend into your left knee and twist. Right hand guides your left knee across your body. Keep both shoulder blades rooted. And allow yourself to just take 3 slow, smooth breaths. Really sinking into the mat. Always coming back to this natural rhythm of breath. On your next inhale, unwind through center, bend both knees in towards your chest, hands behind the backs of your knees. If you have some low back sensitivities or it's not feeling great to rock and roll along your spine, roll to your favorite side. Otherwise, you can start to just roll along the spine, eventually finding your way up towards gentle seat. Okay, so come to maybe cross-legged. If cross-legged isn't feeling great for you, sit up onto a couple pillows or a block. If that's still not working, just extend your legs out straight or butterfly. You have so many options, just find what's working for you today. All right, roll your shoulders once, maybe twice. On your next inhale breath, reach your arms all the way up. Take a big full body stretch. As you exhale, pour over to the right. Drop your right hand down beside your body. Reach your left fingertips over. Okay, full breath in. As you exhale, rotate your left shoulder towards the mat. So you're gonna start to close your body, rib cage over top of your right thigh. As you inhale, open up, take your left hand up to the sky, rotate your heart up towards the ceiling, then reach your left hands back behind you. Okay, exhale breath is where you close and fold. Tuck your chin to your chest, round through your spine. And then inhale breath, open up, slide shoulder blades together, crack the heart wide open. Let's take 3 more breaths with movement. I'm creating those cat-cow movements with the spine, with this added in twist, and then opening up through the shoulder and arm. You follow your breath. The next time that you go to fold, pause for a moment, walk your fingertips out in front of you over towards the right side. So you're still in that twist. Lengthen through the spine. Feel like you're taking a halfway lift. And then as you exhale, fold, drape your body. Inhale, breath, halfway lift and lengthen. Peel your chest off of your thigh. And then exhale, fold, drape heavy. One more time, inhale, breath to lengthen. And exhale to fold. Walk your hands in towards your body and come into a seated twist over to the right. Start to stack your vertebra one at a time. Left hand lands onto your right thigh. Walk your right fingertips back behind you. Okay, beautiful. Grow taller through the spine with each inhale. Allow yourself to twist a little bit deeper with each exhale. If you want to make this more challenging, you can float your right hand off of your mat. If you want to make it even more challenging, hold exactly where you are and just hover your left hand off of your knee, really pulling your belly button into your spine to fire up your core. Okay, let's hold for 1 more breath. And then on your next inhale, untwist, reach your hands all the way up through center, and then exhale, slide your hands forward and fold over top of your shins. Take 3 full recovery breaths. Allow your sits bones to be rooted down, back of your neck to be long, head heavy. Walk your hands back in towards your body, and then take your hands back, lean back, untangle your legs, and then plant your feet wide and just gently wash your knees left and right. I'm gonna find the other side with the cross of your ankle. So it's gonna feel sticky, it's gonna feel weird. That's totally okay. Okay, so now cross the opposite ankle. If you're unsure, just cross one of your ankles. If it feels comfortable, take the other. Whichever side feels most uncomfortable, that's gonna be the one you wanna be on. Okay, so coming back to that comfortable seat, or uncomfortable seat, I suppose. Inhale, breath, reach your arms all the way up, big full body stretch. As you exhale, pour over to the left this time. Left fingertips drop down, right fingertips reach over. Full breath in to lengthen and expand. And then as you exhale, turn and rotate over top of your left leg and fold. Okay. Inhale, breath, reach your right fingertips up and open up through the chest. Exhale, fold over top of your left thigh. Round through your spine, tuck your chin in. And then inhale, breath, take that opposite motion with the front of your body. Lift your chin, rise through the chest. Let's take 2 more rounds of breath and movement. Really flowing with your breaths. You might start to notice how your body and breath connect. And then the next time that you move towards your fold, you'll just pause at the bottom of your exhale. Walk your left fingertips out so that your hands are about shoulder width distance apart. And then lengthen through your spine. Feel your heart lift off of your thigh. Take an inhale. And then when you exhale, start to drape belly, then heart, then head. 2 more breaths with this rise of the inhale and lower of the exhale. It can be as subtle or as big as you want. 1 more round. And then walk your hands in towards your body for seated twist. Right hand roots onto your left leg. Start to twist over towards the left. Okay, fingertips reach back behind you, but really light up onto those fingertips. If you did so on the other side and it felt okay for your body, you can play with floating your left hand off of your mat. Draw your belly button in towards your spine, lift your ribs away from your hips. Optional, float your right hand to hover. So really using your core muscles and engagement to keep you twisted. 1 more full breath in. And as you exhale, soften. Inhale, breath, unwind. Take your hands all the way up. And last time, forward fold. Slide your hands out in front of you and drape. 3 full breaths. Walk your hands back in on your next inhale. Untangle your legs, plant your feet out in front of you, just wash out your hips. Sometimes being in cross-legged, seated, can cause a little bit of tension in the hip flexors. So just kind of letting that go through movement. Really today, movement's going to be our medicine. So not necessarily holding for long periods of time, but really working to mobility. Scoop your feet around to either side and knee into your tabletop. I'm gonna work a bit into hands and wrists. So keeping your shoulders stacked over top of your wrists, you can play with just starting to lean forward to the sides and back. Maybe even circling, maybe it's just rocking forward and back, starting to feel into the creases of your wrists, and feel into the outer and inner edge of your hand. So you can press through the pinky edge and then the L shape of your thumb and your pointer finger. And then come all the way back through center and start to turn your hands around. So 1 hand at a time, start to peel your fingertips to point back towards your knees. You can always walk your knees in a little bit closer and soft bend into your elbows if you feel like you're hyperextending that joint, and then take that same movement. Start to move forward, back, side to side. There doesn't have to be a particular rhythm to this, but really just finding some movement that allows you to open up through now the fronts of the wrists. And gently come all the way back through center. Release your fingertips to point forward. Keep your hips over top of your knees, melting heart pose. Walk your fingertips out in front, land down onto your forearms. You're welcome to stay here, or if you'd like, you can bring your palms together to touch in a prayer and float your hands up and over top of your head so that your thumbs land to the nape of your neck. Let your forehead root heavy, and then take 3 full breaths. Really focus on the expansion of your ribcage out to the left and the right. And then when you exhale, the softening of your heart towards the earth. So you're gonna feel deep stretch through the lats, the side of your ribcage, and maybe even into your armpits or chest. One more deep breath. Use your breath as that movement that's bringing you in and out of the pose. And then gently you can release your hands back down if they're overhead. Walk your fingertips in towards your body. Tuck your right toes under, slide your right toes back. Okay, turn and pivot open to the right, modified plank. As you inhale, circle your right hand back behind you and up. And exhale, circle your right hand towards the front of your mat and come back to tabletop. Okay, other side, modified plank over to the left. Use your inhale, circle through your left hand, and use your exhale to come back through tabletop. 2 more to each side. Really reach through the fingertips. That's gonna get you into the inner line of the arm and down the sides of the rib cage. Full breath for this movement. So inhale is about half of that circle, and the exhale, the other half that brings you back to tabletop. Okay, 1 more round of breath and movement. Root through your feet, through your shin, through your planted hand. All right. The next time that you come through tabletop, pause, walk your hands 1 handprint ahead of where they've landed, and then shift your shoulders over top of your wrists. So that should take you into a modified plank. You can always walk your hands further forward if you need. Full breath in. Exhale, lower all the way down towards your belly. Take your chest to the ground and then hips lower. Inhale, breath, baby cobra. Pull your elbows back, reach and lengthen the crown of your head forward. Exhale, lower to your mat. Inhale, breath, press into your hands, lift up. Exhale to child's pose. Take a full breath in and a long breath out. Inhale, lift up through tabletop, and exhale to downward facing dog. You can adjust your stance if you need to shorten or lengthen it. You can always take your feet wider if you're feeling a little bit unstable in the shape. Let your head hang heavy, gaze back between your feet. Okay, beautiful. On your next inhale breath, pick up your heels, come up high onto the balls of your feet. As you exhale, press into your hands and drive your heels towards your mat. 2 more breaths just like that. Inhale, rise high, working into the calves. And exhale, root your heels down. And last one, inhale, breath, lift up. And exhale, lower your heels. All right, this time, inhale, breath, pull all the way forward towards your plank pose. Okay, 1 elbow at a time. You can lower either with knees lifted or knees down. Come to forearm plank. Forearms come all the way down onto your mat. So you can start with right and then left. Then lower your knees if they aren't already, and then lower your hips, Sphinx pose. Untuck your toes. Full breath in, press into your forearms, lift through the chest, and exhale, just feel like you start to sink back down. All right, zip your belly button up to your spine, tuck your toes under. You're coming back into that forearm plank. Press into your forearms, start to lift your hips, lift your knees. You're in your forearm plank. Now press your right hand into your mat, press your left hand into your mat, full breath in, exhale, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Looking forward, step your way towards the top of your mat. So take as many steps as it takes to land you there. Okay. Inhale, breath, halfway lift and lengthen. And exhale to fold. Bend into your knees, inhale, breath, sweep your arms all the way up, big full body stretch. And exhale to land your hands through heart center. Okay, feet have to be hip width distance apart for this next shape, so you can always take them a little bit wider for stability. Inhale, breath, reach your arms all the way up. As you exhale, sweep your right arm underneath your left and start to wind up your arms. You can always reach for opposite elbow, hook your thumbs or palms. Okay. As you inhale, press into your feet, lift your hands up, feel like you grow taller. As you exhale, curl and round in, bring your elbows towards your belly button, bend your knees like you're sitting back into your chair. Okay, inhale, breath, press into the ground, straighten your legs, stand tall. Exhale, curl and round in, draw your forearms away from your face. One more breath, inhale, grow taller. Exhale, curl and round in, almost like cat pose. Inhale, breath, lift up. As you exhale, unwind your arms, swan dive forward, reach your arms out to left and right. Okay. Inhale, breath, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, step your left toes back, low runner's lunge. Okay. I do recommend a block or blocks for this pose. So you can take your hands onto a prop if you have that available, or even a water bottle. You take a full breath in. As you exhale, start to straighten out your front leg and then fold into a pyramid. Inhale, breath, pull forward into your low runner's lunge, lower your hips, and then exhale, hips lift up and back, straighten out your front leg. If you need, you can always step your left foot a little bit closer and just shorten the stance. Okay, move through this flow at your own pace. Follow the rhythms of your breath. If it's feeling a little chaotic, take those slower breaths. Just force your body to acknowledge it has space to slow down, and then you'll eventually start to just naturally come back into that depth. Okay. Let's take one more round of breath and movement. And then the next time that you move towards your low runner's lunge, pause. This is a little bit different as well. Take the weight into your hands. So if your hands are on blocks, you might want to take them off. Start to hover your right foot light onto the mat. So it might not fully hover, but you're not having a lot of weight on it. Hug your right heel in towards your body. And then take your right knee to your left elbow, falling star. Roll to the big toe edge of your left foot. Extend your right heel out. All right, inhale, breath. Take your left hand all the way up. Press through all 5 of your right fingertips. Lift your hips higher. Exhale, take your left hand towards the ground. Step your right toes to meet your left. So big toes together to touch. Keep your left hand rooted. Roll to the pinky side edge of your left foot. Inhale, breath, circle your right arm back and up. Exhale, circle your fingertips forward and down. Lower onto your forearms, this time left forearm down, then right forearm down. Take your knees to the ground and then your hips, Sphinx pose. Full breath in, press into your hands, rise through the chest. Exhale to just soften. All right, make sure you zip up your core for this transition, really, really important. Belly button lifts towards your spine. Tuck your toes, rise your hips and your knees away from the mat. Press into your left hand, press into your right, high plank, full breath in. Exhale, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Full breath in, and long exhale, breath out. Look forward, step or hop your way towards the top of your mat. Take an inhale breath, halfway lift and lengthen, and exhale to fold. Bend into your knees, inhale, sweep your arms all the way up, big full body stretch, and exhale, hands land through heart center. Inhale, breath, reach out and up. Exhale, eagle arms, other side. Left elbow sweeps underneath your right. Okay, 3 breaths with movement. Really feel the rooting down through your feet. So inhale, start to lift your fingertips up. Grow taller through the crown of your head. Exhale, sink back into a chair. Curl and round elbows in towards belly button. Inhale, breath, lift up. And exhale, curl and round in. One more time. Follow the waves of your breath. As you inhale, reach up and lengthen. As you exhale, swan dive forward, release your arms and fold. Inhale, breath, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, step your right toes back. You can always shorten the stance if you'd like. Hands can come onto your props. Use your inhales to bring you into your lunge. Use your exhales to straighten your legs and fold in pyramid. You're just gonna move through these 2 poses with your own breath. Okay? You might even notice the pauses between the ends of your inhale and the start of your exhale. They really allow you to just settle into the pose for a moment, even if it's brief. If you're feeling a little chaotic or overwhelmed, just slow down the breath, really get into your body. Okay. The next time that you come to your lunge, we're setting up for fallen star. Hands root down. Start to take some of the weight out of your left foot. Slide your left heel back so your knee is hugged in towards your chest. Take your left knee towards your right elbow and then kick out your left foot. Right foot is rooted, both hands can stay down, or lift your right hand up. Whatever is connected to the mat, can you press down into it to find a little bit more lift? One more big inhale breath. Use your exhale, take your right hand down, step your left toes right beside your right foot. Turn and pivot to the pinky side edge of your right foot, other side of your mat. Inhale, circle your left hand back and up. Exhale, circle your left hand forward and down. Come back to your high plank. Lower your knees, lower all the way down to your belly this time. All right, walk your fingertips out wide. My dad actually told me the funniest thing about this yesterday. He calls this Spider-Man pose. So lift up onto all 10 of your fingertips, palms lift away from the earth. And then as you inhale, peel up through center. And then as you exhale, roll your right shoulder forward, look over to the left. All right, inhale, breath, lift back up through center. And then exhale, twist other side. Let's take 2 more to each side. All that I can see now is being Spider-Man in this. So he's completely ruined this pose for me, but in the best way. All right, once you've taken that last round of breath and movement, you will lower all the way back down through center. Plant your hands underneath your shoulders. Press back to a child's pose for a moment. Take your hips back towards your heels. Let's take 5 full recovery breaths. If you want to grab water or you just need to settle for a moment, soften your shoulders, down your back. Give yourself some space to reset. This is something I don't think we do often enough in the practice, and yoga is that balance of rest and of movement. And yet often we do a full hour of movement and just rest at the end. So take the rest when you need it at any point. Okay. In the next breath or so, you'll start to meet back to a downward facing dog. Walk your big toes together to touch. As you inhale, rise your right heel high and then bend into your right knee and stack in towards your hips. Peel your side body open. As you exhale, step your right foot through low runner's lunge, high runner's lunge. Use your inhale, rest, sweep your arms up. All right, just for a moment, take your hands into a prayer and then drop your hands towards the nape of your neck and pull your elbows out wide. Okay. On your inhale breath, you're gonna keep the elbows out wide. And then as you exhale, pull your elbows in towards the sides of your face. Okay, it should feel a little bit of work for the shoulders. Inhale breath, pull the elbows back, shoulder blades squeeze together. As you exhale, draw your elbows forward, shoulder blades separate. Inhale breath, open up. And exhale, pull the elbows forward. Last one. Inhale, breath, open wide. Exhale, draw the elbows forward. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up. And then exhale, open up, warrior 2. Okay, soften through the shoulders, even a soft bend through the elbows. Arms don't have to be perfectly straight. It's okay to just relax a little bit into the upper body. We're gonna work into some strength and balance of the legs, so take this as slow as you need. Flip your front palm to face up. As you inhale, straighten out your front leg, reach your right hand up towards the sky. As you exhale, come back, warrior 2. Okay, this is where it's gonna change, Skandasana. Use your inhale, straighten out your front leg. As you exhale, start to bend to your back knee. Root through your front heel, hands come down and hips lower. Okay, take an extra breath in Skandasana. And then use your next inhale to bring you into a warrior two. So you can walk your hands along the edge of your mat to help rise up. Exhale, soften to your warrior two. Okay, flip your front palm to face up. Inhale, straighten out your front leg. We're gonna take this slow one more time. Exhale to warrior two. Inhale, rest, straighten out your front leg. Exhale, Skandasana, start to bend your back knee. Take your hands down, hips towards your heels. Hold for a full breath in, a long breath out. Okay, shift forward one more time, warrior two. Inhale, breath. And then exhale, pause. Okay, you can stay at this pace, or we can speed it up to one breath for the warrior and one for Skandasana. So I'll flow you through that. You choose what you'd like. Inhale, reverse to your warrior, straighten out your front leg. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale to straighten out your front leg. Exhale to Skandasana. Inhale to reverse your warrior, straighten out your front leg. And then exhale to come all the way back down, warrior two. Inhale to lift out of your front leg, and exhale, Skandasana. Okay, we're gonna take 2 more rounds. At whatever pace you're moving, just find some fluidity. So you're looking to break those barriers of the stickiness or resistance just through movement. Just make sure that you're moving with breath. Last round. Coming all the way back up, we will meet into a 5-pointed star. Okay. So once you come up with both legs straight, you'll turn your front toes to face the side of your mat. Bring your hands onto your hips and just roll your shoulders once or twice. Okay, as you inhale, pull your elbows back, lift through your chest. As you exhale, soft bend in your knees, flat back, forward fold. And take your hands towards your mat. You're welcome to bring in some movement side to side, or you can wrap your hands around your ankles or your calves. Let the back of your head and neck be long. Chin might tuck slightly towards your chest. If you find your back is rounding and you feel like a little turtle, either take your hands onto a block or soft bend into your knees. So you really want to create that long spine and let gravity do the work. Okay. Last little bit of this sequence. Start to take your back heel in closer to the front. So that's going to be your left heel. It's going to heel toe in maybe about a foot. So heel toe once or twice. Pick up your front toes. So right toes are going to pick up. Pivot on your right heel, so your right toes point to the top of your mat and hands follow. Hands can find your block. Okay. Hands walk about a foot in front of your right toes, bend into your right knee, and then spring off of your back foot for half moon. Left toes point towards the side of your mat. So if your toes are pointing down, just flip them to point to the side. That's going to externally rotate your hips open. Optional, keep both hands down. Work on stacking your left hip over right, or start to float your left hand up towards your hip or all the way up towards the sky. Okay, wherever you've landed, you're here for 3 more breaths. So especially in these challenging poses, when we work into arm balances and inversions, you want to make sure you're breathing. That's going to keep you steady and rooted. Okay. Close out your next exhale breath as you start to bend into your standing leg. Slow lower your left heel towards the mat, warrior two. Inhale, rise all the way up. And then exhale, windmill your hands down either side of your front foot, step back. Vinyasa of choice, so you can lower from toes or knees. Inhale to shift forward. Exhale, lower only halfway. Use your inhale, press the tops of your feet in your mat, knees lift. Exhale, roll over top of the feet, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and a long exhale breath out. One more full breath in and exhale, let that go. Walk your big toes together to touch. Inhale, breath, draw your left heel high, bend into your left knee, stack into your hip. Okay, try to keep equal weight into both hands. As you exhale, step your left foot through high lunge. Root through your feet first, and then use your inhale breath to take your hands up. Okay, you can always lower the back knee if you just need a little bit more support. Hands come into a prayer shape, and then hands land to the back of your neck. So as you inhale, you start to pull the elbows back, crack the heart forward. As you exhale, pull the elbows forward, and you're gonna feel some strength into the back of the shoulders. Inhale breath, open elbows wide, press palms together. Exhale, draw your elbows forward. Palms might slightly release. Okay, 2 more, just like that. Move with your breath. Exhale, elbows draw forward. Last one, inhale, elbows draw out. And exhale, elbows draw forward. Inhale, reach your fingertips up, release your arms, and then exhale, open up, warrior 2. The first 2 rounds of this movement are really, really slow, so I'll walk you through it. Flip your front palm to face up. Inhale, reverse your warrior, straighten out your front leg. Exhale, warrior 2. Okay, use your next inhale, straighten your front leg, arms stay as they are. Exhale, bend into your back knee, start to lower. Hands can help you come down. Hips come down as low as is comfortable. Honor your left knee. Okay, hold for a full breath in so you just get comfortable in this shape. And soften as you exhale. Okay. Walk your hands along the edge of your mat, bend into your front knee, warrior 2. You can windmill your hands up, and then exhale, just soften into your warrior. Okay. Go through that again, flip your front palm, reverse your warrior, straighten your front leg. Exhale, warrior 2, bend into your front knee. Okay. Straighten your front knee, nothing else changes. Exhale, bend into your back knee, Skandasana, hands come down. Hold for 1 full breath just to settle in. And then use your next inhale, either walk your hands along or you can always keep your hands lifted to make this more challenging, warrior 2. All right, you can stay at the same pace for the next 2 rounds of breath or movement, or you can speed it up slightly. Just make sure you're not speeding up the breath. The movement is just a little bit faster. Okay, so inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale to straighten out your front leg, and then exhale, Skandasana. Inhale brings you into your reversed warrior. All the way through warrior 2, you lift and straighten, and then exhale, warrior 2. Okay. So just find your flow. There's no right or wrong way. You're just moving between these poses at your own steady rate. Okay, nice, you guys. Trust the rooting down of your feet to hold you up. We're here for 1 more round. Make sure that you're breathing out, especially you will automatically breathe in. So as soon as you let go of that air, your body's natural inclination is to breathe in. Okay. The next time that you have both legs straight, you can make your way to a 5-pointed star. Turn your left toes to the side of your mat, hands come onto your hips. Roll your shoulders once or twice. Use your inhale breath, pull your heart up, and then as you exhale, start to hinge at the hips and fold forward. Okay. Hands can come all the way down. You may even play with placing the crown of your head onto the ground, just making sure that you don't have any weight into the top of your head. Okay. That all the weight is in your feet. Optional, take as deep of a bend as you need in your knees. You don't need to have the legs perfectly straight. Folds are always restorative in nature, so you allow yourself some space just to breathe into this fold. We only have 1 pose left. Walk your hands underneath your shoulders again. Tighten up your stance, so heel toe your right foot closer to your left. Shortening the stance is gonna help with this transition, and then pick up your left toes, turn and pivot them to the top of your mat. Hands frame your left foot slightly ahead. Bend into your left knee so you can take some weight into that foot, and then rise your right heel away. You can definitely just stay both hands down onto the ground or onto a block, or if you want, just as you've stacked your hips, you can start to stack your shoulders. So right hand onto your right hip, or right fingertips reach all the way up. Squeeze your right glute. So your right butt cheeks are helping to pick that hip up and over, which will stack your bones and make this pose way easier. Okay, you're here for 2 more breaths. Really focus on finding the breath and just staying really, really strong through this. Slow down the transition. So you'll start to bend into your left knee, right foot lowers, and then inhale up to warrior 2. And exhale, windmill your hands down either side of your front foot. All right, step back, optional, final vinyasa of choice, or you can just ripple through the spine to downward facing dog. All right, last little bit. Lower onto your hands and knees, and then make your way onto your back. Okay. So once you come onto your back, it might feel nice to take your knees near your chest and just rock this out. Okay. And then let's take one more big good morning stretch. So release the soles of your feet down. Reach your fingertips overhead. Take a full breath in. Reach from your hands to your feet, and exhale, let that go. All right, hollow back. This is gonna be for your core. Draw your belly button down towards your spine. Start to rise your head, hands, and heels off of your mat. So if that feels like too much, just start with rising your head and your hands. Tuck your chin to your chest so that the back of your neck is long. Okay, you can play there and then come back down. You might play with just rising your heels up. If you need to lift up a little bit higher, that's okay. The lower that your extremities are, the harder this is going to be. So you can take a couple of breaks to this. We're gonna be here for about 5 more breaths. So if you need to lower down for a breath and then pick back up, you're welcome to. This is probably the best core exercise you are going to find for inversions. Okay. Press your belly button down into your spine. You're here for 1 more full breath in. And then on your exhale, gently release and just let that go. Take a couple of deep breaths. Sigh out with your body. All right, so while you're there, I'm just going to explain where we're going next. If you are like Lauren, you are a crazy person, we are not going into headstand today. You're welcome to just take a couple of your favorite poses on your back. We will close off with twists, so, but you can always take those as well. What you want to know with headstand, a lot of people do it on the top of their head, kind of where the hairline is. So to find the top of your head where you want to go, just take one of your palms to your forehead, like your face palming. Heel of your hand kind of lands right at your eyebrows, and then you'll just peel your fingertips back so that where your middle finger meets on the top of your head, that's where you want to be balancing. So you can always take the heel of your hand off, and you'll notice it's actually quite further back than you might think, okay? So that's about where you want to be balancing in this pose. Okay, we're gonna come up to a wall. I'm going to use my, I'm not going to use a wall, but you guys will, just so you feel a little bit more comfortable. Okay, you're going to interlace your fingers to the webbing, and then I like to tuck the pinkies so they line up. So instead of pinky fingers crossing, I like to tuck them so they line up. And then you're just going to, you're gonna bring your hands to the back of your head. So if you notice, kind of where we were in this shape, you're creating a flat surface of your forearms. So in this pose, your forearms are actually gonna take most of the weight, all right? So that's the shape you kind of want. The one thing you want to avoid is the elbows out. So remember how we drew the elbows forward? That's kind of the shape you want because that's gonna strengthen your shoulders. Elbows out, shoulders are kind of loosey-goosey. Elbows in, shoulders don't really have that space to move, so they're gonna be really strong. All right, so coming into your headstand, you're gonna walk yourself up towards the wall. Take your forearms down so they're shoulder width distance, and then just bring your opposite hands to elbows. So that's about the space you want your elbows to be. Elbows aren't going to move from here. So keep your elbows glued to your mat and then take your hands and interlace them, and that's gonna give you that triangular shape of the arms. Now start to place the back of your head into your hands so that what ends up touching the mat is the top of your head, that point that you found with your middle finger. Okay. So you can just stay here, or you can start to pick up your knees. So you're in a down dog shape,
and just start to walk your feet in towards your body. So what you're looking to do is stack your hips over top of your shoulders. Okay, to start to work into this, you'll bend into one knee at a time and just bring your heel in and then release that foot down, and then take the other heel in and release down. Okay. And then if you can do that a couple of times, just picking up one heel at a time, play with stacking the hips. And then we're gonna take a little break and come back to child's pose just to rest. So take maybe 1 or 2 more of those heel kicks in. And then walk your feet back out, lower onto your knees, take your knees together, big toes to touch, and walk your hands back for child's pose. Okay. And take about 5 full recovery breaths. Basically, anytime that you spend in inversions like headstand or handstand, you should always kind of take about the same or equal amount of time in child's pose. So just to relax, to lengthen out the back of the head or neck. Okay, notice in your headstand, if you were spending a lot of weight onto the crown of your head, then you want to play with taking more of that weight into your forearms as we come into this next variation. You're welcome to continue to play with what we already have done, or you can take this one step further. Remember, the wall is there for you to kick into. So if you fall out, your feet are gonna land first. So you will be fine if you do come out of this. That's why we have the wall there. Okay, so from your child's pose, once again, start to come back towards tabletop. Lower your forearms down so your hands draw to opposite elbows. That just gives you the right space of your elbows. Interlace your fingers, pinky edges to the ground. Okay. Place the back of your head into your hands and then start to walk your toes in towards your body. Okay, now if you're playing with inverting, take one heel in at a time and then just play with taking the other heel up. So you're just looking to hug knees into your chest to start. Once you feel comfortable there, you can extend one leg up the wall. So you're in a half pike, one leg straight, one knee bent, and then maybe you play with extending the other leg straight. Okay, press through the balls of your feet, almost like you're coming onto your tiptoes. And I'm just gonna watch for a moment and make sure this is looking okay. So yeah, one knee in at a time. Hug your thighs into your chest. So feel like you're curling in tight, and you're gonna try and stack your hips over top of your shoulders. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so if you need one more demo, I'll show you one more time, and then we're gonna take a child's pose and close class. So when you're coming into this, walk your toes in as much and as close as you can, and then bend your heel in towards your glute. Knees almost point down towards the earth, and then you can slowly start to pick up the other heel. Notice my thighs are hugged right in towards my chest, and then you straighten one leg at a time. Okay. If you want to keep playing with that, you're welcome. If you are pretty done with your headstand, come back down to child's pose, and let's take about a minute in child's pose. Okay. Awesome, it looks really, really good, those of you that I am seeing right now. Once you've landed in child's pose, just let your breath deepen. Maybe even send yourself some love for whatever you just did in these last few minutes, whether it was taking time for yourself to just rest, or it was maybe coming outside of your comfort zone in headstand. Okay, that whatever you've chosen was perfect this morning. Okay, there's no right or wrong. Remember, you always have agency to take what it is that you need. Gently peel away from your child's pose and just make your way onto your back. Okay, so as smooth as possible. Don't need any big or wild movements. And then once you land onto your back, heel toe your feet out wide and just start to wash your knees left and right. Eventually, you will land your knees over to the right hand side. You can keep your knees, feet, thighs apart. This is going to give you that slight internal rotation of the inside hip. Just make sure both shoulders are rooted. If this feels uncomfortable, you can always take your knees together. And if you want to go deeper in this open twist, you can always cross your right ankle over top of your left thigh to help guide more depth down.
Notice how the energy is really shifting. When you get upside down, we actually build the energy up. And so now is a place you can start to settle, sink down, ground. Take one more full breath on this side. And then you can untangle your legs. If your feet are wide, just pick your knees back up through center. Keep your feet exactly as they are, and then drop your feet over to the other side. Okay. If you need to readjust your hips or anything, just do what you need to feel comfortable. Optional, cross your left ankle over top of your right thigh. Find the movement of your breath again, especially if you felt like you were holding your breath in those last couple of poses. Gently draw your knees all the way back up through center. If there's a final pose that you need, you're welcome to take that now. Otherwise, landing in Shavasana for just about a minute or so in stillness. I do want to honor time, but if you want to stay longer, you are welcome to. Okay. Before I settle you in here in silence on my end, can you send yourself some love, but also some joy of playfulness? Even if you fell out of this, I hope that there was a laugh. Yoga can be taken really seriously, and so I find inversion's a place where we can just have fun and know that it's scary and it's hard, but we're also looking really silly and might not have any idea what we're doing, but it's just play. Yoga is just playing with shapes on your mat in a way that feels good and nourishing. And in that, we really can find joy. Okay. I'll leave you here for a moment. Just settle in and send some love to self. All right, if you do need to get going to work, you can start to wake up your body, or even if you just need to get going into your day, but wake up slow, take a minute or so to really just move into your body. And you can close off in seated. If you have nowhere you need to be, you're welcome to stay and rest. And if you're just feeling drawn to your mat now, close off on your back. You can just take your hands to your heart or even stay in Shavasana. We're gonna go through a little bit of playfulness this month, and I think it's so important, especially when this year has felt really heavy. We might not be feeling like ourselves. That there's an element where we just start to dive into that childlike play and childlike joy and wonder. I can really change around our day or how we see the world. Okay, so Honor that inner child within. If you find room in your day to play, definitely take it. Just breathe in these moments and hold them close. Whatever feels nourishing, find that today and let that be your guide. Thank you for joining me. Truly, so much love, so much gratitude. Namaste.